It's a great honor to present the 2021 Clinton Global Citizen Award for Leadership in Public Service to a great friend of Hillary's and mine, and one of the finest cabinet secretaries America's ever had. Alexis Herman has spent a lifetime breaking down barriers, opening doors, and expanding the circle of opportunity for all Americans. Her trailblazing work began before she even finished high school, when she was expelled for challenging segregation in the parochial school system in her hometown of Mobile, Alabama. Her expulsion eventually was overturned, but it was clear that from a young age, Alexis had the courage of her convictions and would stand up for what's right. After graduating from Xavier University in New Orleans and beginning her career as a social worker, Alexis became involved in groundbreaking efforts to study the experiences of Black women in corporate America. And in 1977, at 29, she was named the director of the Women's Bureau at the U.S. Department of Labor, the youngest person ever to hold that position. When her tenure came to a close at the end of the Carter administration, she started her own firm to advise corporations on more diverse and inclusive hiring practices. All the while, she grew increasingly involved in politics and eventually became Chief of Staff at the Democratic National Committee and CEO of the 1992 Democratic Convention. That was pretty important to me at the time. Alexis was masterful at bringing together broad coalitions around positive, forward-looking, shared goals. And after I was elected, I asked her to help in my administration that truly looked like America and truly represented America. After I took office, I named her director of the White House Public Liaison Office. She worked tirelessly there to ensure that the many diverse voices of our American family were heard and valued. And after 4 years of service in the White House, I was proud to nominate her as Secretary of Labor, making her the first Black American to hold that position.
It's been a long road to the Rose Garden, and it didn't come easy. In fact, I'm reminded of the actor who said when he finally made it big, it took me 20 years to get here, to become an overnight success. Well, it has taken us more than a few years to be here today, but we are here.
For Alexis, the job was personal. She knew firsthand how it felt to be turned down from jobs because of who you are and what you look like, to be locked out of opportunity. So she worked to create an inclusive economy where more people could share in America's prosperity, where workers had the skills and opportunities to get good jobs with rising incomes, strong protections against discrimination and dangerous working conditions, and a growing ability to balance work and family. Since leaving that office, she has continued her important work with major corporations to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout their organizations. And she devotes her time and energy to developing the next generation of leaders, including now as chair of the advisory committee for the Presidential Leadership Scholars, the program President Bush and I started with our presidential libraries and others. In this watershed moment, when we have a real chance to reimagine what our future will look like, what our society, our economy will look like, and how we're going to relate to one another, there's an awful lot we can learn from Alexis's life and example. From the segregated classrooms of Mobile, to the White House, to the Department of Labor, to corporate boardrooms, to her work to help in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, and now with the Presidential Leadership Scholars. Alexis Herman, as long as I've known her, has believed that America can succeed only if all our people have the same chances to succeed. And she's given a life to achieving that goal. For that, there is absolutely no more fitting recipient of the 2021 Clinton Global Citizen Award for Leadership in Public Service.
The Clinton Global Citizen Award honors outstanding individuals for their exemplary leadership and groundbreaking work that affects positive, lasting social change. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the 2021 Clinton Global Citizen Award recipients, the Honorable Alexis M. Herman. 23rd U.S. Secretary of Labor, Chair and CEO, New Ventures, LLC.
Thank you, President Clinton, for that amazing introduction. Listening to you and taking me all the way back to high school certainly makes me feel older than I will ever acknowledge tonight. I'm so honored to receive the Global Citizens Award from the Clinton Foundation. And I'm very grateful to you and to Secretary Clinton for your personal support of me throughout the years. And I'm so happy that Chelsea has now joined this work with you as you are all dedicating your life to continued service for all of us. You know, President Clinton, when you said that all the way back in high school, that I had to understand that if I wanted to make a difference, if I wanted to change lives for the better, that I had to step up and take risks. I learned that from my parents. I learned it from watching my dad being chased by the Ku Klux Klan. I learned it from my mom when she was pushed off the bus just because she took a seat at the front of the bus to her knees. They took many risks for our community and for our children. And in many ways, this Global Citizens Award and the recipients in the past, it's been about, I think, the risk that so many of them have taken to ensure that we all work together for the common good and that we recognize that we have common goals. It reminds me also of the words that you often spoke as president when you said that the better that some of us do, the better that all of us do. You also said that for me, serving as your labor secretary was personal, and it was. Because I often said that work is not just a source of income, it is also a source of dignity. And the work that we did together, we lifted up so many lives with dignity and with hope. Today, whether it is the continued work of the foundation or the work that we do together with the Presidential Leadership Scholars Initiative, or a recognition of the work that we must all do, especially here at home as Americans, to make sure that our democracy works for all, it really is about understanding that we're in this together. And my great mentor, Dorothy Height, said to me, you know, if the times aren't ripe, then we have to remember to ripen the times. And so I thank you tonight as this celebration of 20 years really signifies that this foundation has continued to ripen the times. I salute all of you. Kevin Thurn, your CEO, the executive director, Stephanie Street, all of your team members who are involved in this great effort. And I say tonight, let us remember the words of the good book, that we cannot grow weary in doing good. Thank you for your work, and may God continue to bless you and the foundation.